We have a very good update today that the federal judge on August 21st, 2026 has ruled against the travel ban of the 75 countries. There are so many things to unpack on this one, because inside the 75 countries, there are so many things in it. And what does this rule mean? And what does this rule mean for all green card lottery winners? What does that mean for people who are maybe married to a US citizen, or they are getting the green card through other ways? What does that mean? Does this rule going to help people who are under the so-called non-immigrant visa, like students and so forth? In order to start with that, let's go to look at this is the ruling, which was filed, officially released on this day. And it is the opinion and order between the Catholic Legal Immigration Network, which is known as a clinic, versus usual the Secretary of State and the government usual. The defendants is the Department of State, the Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, and so forth. So I'm not going to every single thing, but remember, the lawsuit has over 9 areas where they have to make the judgment. Only 3 items have been ruled. And if you look onto this one, they say there are certain things they are going to come with the agreement. Secretary of State or the Department of State have to come with so certain ways on so other issues. So we are not going into that. We are starting with the ruling. So you have to know that on January, there was coming up of the 75 countries to be on the travel ban. So in order to do that, let's go into some of the things first of all. This is the immigrant visa processing based on public charge, public benefits. That order is different from another order. There is the issue about bond is different. They haven't been able to do that. This order is related to partial of this suspension of insurance to visa insurance to foreign nationals for the matter of the national security, the security of the United States. And this order officially took place on January 1st, early in the morning. The proclamation is called the Presidential Proclamation, this 10998, restricting and limiting entry of the foreign nationals to protect the security of the United States. In this one, they put 2 categories. Number 1, there is a full ban and there is a partial ban. So there is a full suspension. So they say the Department of State fully suspended visa assurance to nationals of 19 countries: Afghanistan, Burma, Burkina Faso, Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Laos, Libya, Mali, Niger, Sierra Leone, Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. So this is fully banned, means all types of visas. And when I'm talking about the type of visas, I'm referring 2 types of visas: immigrant visas and non-immigrant visas. And inside the visa category, like when you say non-immigrant visa, inside there, you are going to find student. So this is going to do a fully ban of all visas, with exception of visas which are diplomatic. and official visas. The government, they get certain those one. And they gave specifically, there are certain type of immigrant visas which are based on certain categories and blah, blah, blah. But in majority is going to affect those people. And then there is a partial ban. This partial ban, the Department of State partially suspended the visa issuance of 19 countries. These countries are Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, whatever, Benin, Burundi, Cote d'Ivoire, Cuba, Dominica, Gabon, the Gambia, Malawi, Mauritania, Nigeria, Senegal, Tanzania, Togo, Tonga, Venezuela, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. So this, they are going to do two things. Number one, they did the non-immigrant visas, B1, B2, and also B1, B2 is visitor and business, whatever. And also F is a student, M is a student, J is exchange visitor, they can come as a student and so forth. And exchange visitor visas. And also, in addition to that, they go to do all immigrant visas, so no green card. So what does that mean? So here they went all immigrant, and on the non-immigrant, like if someone is on B1, B2, F, M, J, they are going to be denied. But if someone is applying for a religious visa and other type of visas, crew visa, whatever, they will be able to get. So that's, let's say, the partial visa. So that's, first of all, I want to let you know that this is referring to that kind of, that type of visa. So it went further to say that, so because of that, there was a lawsuit. The lawsuit where the Catholic, which is called the clinic, is the one going to do this one, which is Catholic Legal Immigration Network, is called the clinic. So the clinic, they went to create the lawsuit. The purpose of the lawsuit, so when the lawsuit was brought by, the lawsuit is referring to immigrant visas, not non-immigrant visas. We have to be careful on that one. The lawsuit is referring to the immigrant visas. The lawsuit is not referring to non-immigrant visas. So, if that's the case, the question I'll pose for the future is, does this suspension, does this decision about the suspension, will it be applicable to non-immigrant visas? That is the question we are going to answer out of that, and we hope that we'll be able to be part of it. So let's continue. So it says on January 14th, the United States, blah, 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 announced that effective on that day, the Department of State is going to suspend insurance of immigrant visas of 75 countries. So if you look on this one, this is what is going to give the background of it. So before I go to the background, what I mentioned that there are two types of visas. And they go to define here. Visas are generally categorized into two. Visas are generally categorized into two. The first category is immigrant visa. And the second category is non-immigrant visa. So what is the difference? The difference is immigrant visas are issued for foreign nationals intending to relocate permanently to the United States. Meaning, you are married to a U.S. citizen. Your parent is a U.S. citizen. Is fighting for you to come in America to live permanently. You become immigrant. Remember, in immigration law, the word immigrant is not just because you are in America. No, immigrant means a permanent resident. So immigrant visa is the visa issued to a foreigner to come to America to live on a permanent basis. If you come to America, maybe as a student, maybe to come as a visitor, to come just for medical, conference, all those kind of things, that is called non-immigrant. That means you come to America not intention of becoming permanent, not having any intention of becoming a permanent resident. And they say non-immigrant visas are issued to foreign nationals seeking to enter the United States on a temporary basis for tourism, business, medical treatment, and certain types of temporary work. That is a non-immigrant. So in this particular case, they say some of the immigrant visa category, if you want to know, are based on employment, and some can be family-based in that particular way and other way. So regardless of the specific category, regardless of what visa category, the law, the Immigration and Nationality Act, they want consular officers to execute authority to review applications for visas. And those applications, they have the power. Officers, they have the power to grant or refuse the visas. The power that have been given to grant or deny the immigrant visa, that power has restrictions too. So if you look, here's what they say. On ground particularly relevant to the present action, in section 212, subsection A, subsection 4A of the Immigration and Nationality Act, it says, the so-called public provisions renders inadmissible any non-citizen who is in opinion consular officers of at the time of the application of the visa is likely at any time to become public charge. So there are other issues they are looking, what other issues they can use to grant a visa or deny a visa. One of the things is public charge. But you will come to see the issue of public charge itself hasn't been finally decided. It will be decided later. But that is one of the issues. So, meaning when you are being given, you have to prove that you can be able to support yourself. Blah, blah, blah. So there is the issue of public charge. That is one of the issues into the lawsuit. But that issue particularly hasn't been finally decided. But the issue here is, so what do they say? Congress has further, remember, we're talking about the law. Congress has further provided 5 factors that consular officers must consider in determining the non-citizen likely to become public charge. They look about age, healthy, family status, assets, resources, and the financial status, financial status, and the education or skills. When they're talking about that, they say, moreover, the National Immigration and Nationality Act provides that no person shall receive any preference or priority or be discriminated against the issuance of immigrant visa because of race, sex, nationality, place of birth, or place of residence. So this is the key issue, the place of residence. The place of residence meaning place of residence and nationality. Because you are coming from a certain particular country, automatically you are going to do that way. So here is what they took a quote from the actual cable, the information, the announcement the Department of State provided, that the President Trump has made it clear that the immigrants must be financially self-sufficient and not be financial burden to Americans. The Department of State is undergoing full review of all policies, regulations, and guidance to ensure that immigrants from these high-risk countries do not utilize the welfare or become the public charge. So that was part of it. And the 75 countries, here are those countries. You can see the list is here. So the issue is they are raising here is that the administrative record indicates that the 75 countries which have been selected in accordance with public assistance and welfare, that means they went to look into which countries, many people from those countries are applying for the public, for the fares. And the countries with the 30% and more, they were just put into that one. So that is the bigger part of it. Then they went further. So this is on the discussion, which they say that the policy categorically prohibits issuance of immigrant visas based on the nationality of the applicant. That means just because you are from this particular country, you are automatically going to be removed. You are automatically going to be denied the visa. That should not be the law. The law doesn't say that. The law says the consular officer should individually assess each person, not put all people in the same category. Because you cannot say Dangote, because he's Nigerian, will become a public charge while he's a billionaire versus me. So why are you saying because you're Nigerian, because you're Tanzanian, because you are from this particular country, you are automatically denied the visa because you are likely to become public charge, but you haven't individually assessed my situation? That's what they say. So consular officers are required to conduct individualized assessment of applicants and refuse visas on those whom the consular officer finds ineligible, not to prohibit all people based on the country where they're coming from. The policy category bans nationals of 75 countries instead of refusing based on individual assessment. So the policy categorically bans nationals of 75 countries from receiving immigrant visas, even when otherwise eligible, based solely on their nationality. Like, they might be eligible, they are married to a US citizen, they've won green card lottery, they got a job offer, they might be millionaires, but because of their nationality, the countries they are born, that's where the problem is. So it went further on the discussion to focus more into that particular area. I'm not going to read all of this for you. So on the discussion and everything, it is going to discuss that one. And it went further into now, those people who were denied under the so-called section 1201G. So there are people who were denied the visa based on this one. So what does 1201G means? It means you have been denied based on the administrative reasoning, not a permanent denial of the visa. So some people were denied the visa because of the countries they are from, not because they didn't qualify. So the visa, the reason to deny the visa, they say section 1201 G, means based on that particular overall reason. Meaning, if the ban is removed, you could be given the visa. That's what they say. So they say now, the policy requires the refusal of these countries were given the classification 1201G. So 1201G, it means is a visa refusal, or 221G, whatever, based on the something is missing. So it's called administrative processing. Means it's not a permanent decision, permanent denial. So if you go and look 221G, that reason of administrative processing, what does that mean? I'm reading from the official government website, the Department of State official. There are two possible ways on this one. Basically, this one, it means the refusal under this one did not establish eligibility of they didn't satisfy the consular. So what they mean is you can provide extra information or certain reason you have to be removed. So that's what they say. Can this refusal be overturned? Yes, it can be overturned. If the application is refused under this section and the consular officer specifically told the applicant to provide documentation or information, or in this case, there was a travel ban and the travel ban has been removed, that person can be given the visa. That is the purpose of this one. So for that case, under Immigration and Nationality Act, all immigrant visas applications shall be reviewed and adjudicated by the consular officer. Consular officers are tasked with conducting individualized assessment of prospective immigrants' medical status, criminal history, financial, and personal details to determine whether any of the Immigration and Nationality Act grounds of inadmissibility apply. That you have to go to look on this part, not to look into the country of where a person is born. So based on that, they come up with a decision. Now the ruling was that we have going to cancel, we are going to overrule that the Secretary of State took extra, the Secretary of State exceeded statutory authority. So when it comes to the conclusion, so that's why they say the summary of the judgment, they granted in part of the judgment and some of the part was denied. So the court determines that there is no just cause for delay of entry of judgment with respect to these claims. So they are going to make a decision. People could start coming to America from those countries. The judgment shall set aside and vacate the policy categorically, suspending the issuance of immigrant visas to applicants from 75 designated countries as contrary to the law and in excess of statutory authority. What does that mean? So the 75 countries on this aspect of immigrant visas, now that one has been removed. The judgment shall set aside and vacate any refusal of immigrant visa that was based solely upon the policy. What does that mean? It means if you were denied just because you are from those countries, not because of other reasons. For instance, there is a person was denied green card, married to a U.S. citizen, but is from Tanzania. Not because he's not married, not because of the fraud, not because of anything else. So those people will go to the embassy back again and they will be granted the visa. That is the meaning. So, and remand those agents' actions for further proceedings consistent with the opinion and order. It goes further. The clerk of the court further requested to enter declaratory judgment for the plaintiff and that defendants by ordering the suspension of issuance of immigrant visas to nationals of countries specified on that way. So it's going to be order. That means that one has been removed. So remember, they are dealing with the insurance of immigrant visas, not non-immigrant visas. Remember, when we looked about the suspension of the visa insurance, there are countries, they were just denied all immigrant and non-immigrant visa categories. Those were full suspension. And there are countries, what they did was, it was partial. Partial suspension of visas, it means B1, B2, FMJ, and all immigrant visas. But so I want to give the categories. The lawsuit was more about immigrant visas, not non-immigrant visas. So the question is, will the government go to apply the same thing even to the non-immigrant? Will they do that? With the same logic that, why are you denying a visa to a person who is applying to become a student just because he's from this particular country, not based on the individual, whether this person will likely maybe overstay, do whatever. So I don't know about that. I'm not going to say things which are not part of the lawsuit. But by the law, the people brought the lawsuit were more on the immigrant visas, which was not on the non-immigrant visas. So the countries which have still under non-immigrant visas: Nigeria, Senegal, Tanzania, Togo, Tonga, Venezuela, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Mauritania, Gambia, Gabon, Dominica, Cuba, Cote d'Ivoire, Burundi, Benin, Bermuda, Antigua, Angola. The 19 countries for the aspect of non-immigrant student visas, FMJ, exchange visitors, B1, B2, in my opinion, that will continue until further notice. But for the aspect of the other visas, it will be that way. And it goes further. By September 11, the parties shall submit a joint letter to the court, setting up forth their proposals on how to proceed with the remaining claims of the case. What are the remaining claims of the case? There are other issues which remain as part of the case. What are those parts? Number one, there is the issue about visa bond, immigrant visa bond. So if you look on the side, there is immigrant charge bonds for immigrant visas. Remember, this was brought about the immigrant, not non-immigrant visas, because there is a visa bond for non-immigrant for visiting visas for certain countries. So this is a public charge bonds for immigrant visas. So they will come with a decision about this one on September 11. There is a visa bond for non-immigrant. So there's a visa bond. Let me find it 1 second. So if you look here, so countries subject to the visa bond. So this is the visa bond in general, the visa bond for all the countries, but this is referring to non-immigrant visa. It's a lot of countries. There are countries they started in January. There are countries they started last year. So you have to look which country if it's referring. So these countries, they are referring mostly to non-immigrant visas for the normal visa bond. So, but the decision is going there. It will be for, yeah. But they said this is a temporary rule. So they established the pilot. This has to do with overstays of B1 and B2. So the visa bond is for visiting visas. So what they're going to do, they're not going to talk about the visa bond for the public charge bonds. That is a different story. So that will be decided in a separate on September 11. So those are a few things they are going to talk about. The public charge rules is the bigger part of it. There are a few other things which they will be able to work on. And so the case is not completely over. So what does this mean to people who are, let's say, green card lottery winners? So mainly the green card lottery winners, they can get that one. That's number one. But remember, there is another order of overall suspending green card lottery. There is the issue of overall green card lottery. So the green card lottery is a separate case. If you look, December 23rd, diversity visa insurance updated. Effective immediately, the Department of State has paused all insurance to diversity visa immigrant. Yeah. So they explain why they put the hold because of the security issues. They will continue to schedule, but they will not provide the visas. They say there is no exception on this one. Does this affect my current visa? No, diversity visa or other visa which have been provided or revoked, whatever. So, at the moment, this is talking about immigrant visa. Diversity visa technically is within. So, you see how it is. This order is referring this decision about now they have paused the suspension based on the country. That decision, which has been provided, it is for all immigrant visas. But for the people who are diversity visa lottery winners, there is a separate order of suspending all diversity visas. So, the good thing is the decision can help also the diversity visa lottery. I know September 30th is the end of the fiscal year. So that decision can help to create a decision on the other cases for the diversity visas, which will allow people to continue, because that the pause of the diversity visa is for all countries in the world, not just the 75. But that case, that decision will be used as the base for all green card lottery winners too. But the other issue will be, will the court make it the order that the Department of State should continue providing interviews for the time lost? According to the law at the moment, on September 30th, the end of the DV lottery visa interviews, insurance to issue the visas. But the court can say, because maybe for the past number of months you didn't do the interview, we order you, not only September 30th, the end, you have to add maybe 3 months or 4 months to make sure that you go and do the backlog. If the court decides that way, then it will be the way on many people. That's what I believe. I believe that's going to happen. That this one is going to help the diversity visa lottery winners, but the court might decide that they give the extension of the visas to be provided beyond the deadline. So, for those DV lottery winners, don't lose hope. Things are coming better. But at the same time, for those with green card based on other in other countries based on family and work, now maybe after a week or something like that, maybe mostly after September 11, I think you can go back to the embassy and you can ask to reschedule for the interview. They'll be able to issue you the green card. So that is about the overall the 75 countries, but most importantly is for people how it's going to extend. That's what I want to share with you today. But one more thing I want to put out before I end here. For the people, people want to know when are we going to have another green card lottery? Are we going to have another green card lottery this year? That is a very good question. This year, green card lottery will still be there. Remember, the Department of State, the government, has already provided the new guidelines on the new DV lottery, which means there will be passport requirement, not only just the number, but to take also the picture to upload, and there will be a $1 fee to apply. And the $1 will be paid using Visa card, MasterCard, PayPal, those kind of things will be able to use through pay.gov website. So obviously will be there. Which date the green card lottery will be there? I've already predicted the green card lottery for this year is going to happen between these dates. It's going to start on Wednesday, October 7 until until November, Tuesday 10, October 7 until November 10. Those will be the dates for you to apply. So we are waiting to see the announcement. Official announcement will come into the mid of September about the DV lottery, which are the correct dates, but those are my predictions. So be ready for that. But remember, you have to start looking for other ways on relocating, not just for the diversity visa lottery. And for those who are already in the United States, if you are already in the United States, regardless of the immigration status, remember, coming to America is one thing, succeeding is another thing. So if you go to my website, ebmscholarschool.com, you will see nowadays I modify my website. It has the immigration aspect, it has the finance aspect. And the purpose of now is to say EBM Scholars is guided by the philosophy of financial freedom, generational wealth, and the legacy building. We integrate immigration and the education services with the practical financial literacy and empowerment. We believe that American dream and the global dream of opportunity should be more than survival. It should be about thriving, growing, protecting what matters, and creating a lasting legacy for future generations. So if you're in the United States, if you go to my website here, you can click the financial education. It will give you the opportunity to fill out the form, and you will get 2 hours free of charge consultation to understand more about the life in America, how to succeed, and so forth. But if you're already in America, again, you want to get extra income, if you click on the passive income, this is another opportunity for you to become financial professional. I will give you, can read more about what you'll be doing and the guidance on how you can be able to succeed. And also on the side, I've created another company. It's called Beyond American Dream. We want people to not just come here to live the basic life. So beyond that, you need to know the rules of the game and on how you can be able to succeed upon arriving here in the United States. So thank you so much. Subscribe, share the video. And if you're in America, again, take the opportunity to get the free 2 hours one-on-one consultation.